to introducing our special guest. You know, I particularly signed up to this because I just realized that this is the woman who's going to tell me how to get to becoming a DTM for the first time in my life, and then becoming a triple DTM like our DTM, Dunstanet Macaulay. So let me introduce to you our guest speaker. Our guest speaker is Patricia, and she's the founder of Perisous Horizon, a startup management and training consultancy. She hosts the Perisous Horizon chat room series on her YouTube channel, where guests share their inspirational stories through life as entrepreneurs, corporate executives, or professionals in their various endeavors. The series enables others to be inspired, empowered, and educated on how to also achieve more. Patricia desires to nurture a community of creative collaborators who support and celebrate each other's small and big milestones. She's also the sponsor of Perisous Horizon Toastmasters Club. She's Ghana's first female DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster, and now a two-time Distinguished Toastmaster. So she's coming on the heels of our three-time in both the Legacy and Pathways programs. As a Toastmasters volunteer, she served her district as a Pathways ambassador and guide, and as a two-time director, earning the District's Director of the Year Award in 2016-2017 mandate, and became the first female division director for Ghana Toastmasters, Division G, in 2018-2019, leading them to a President's Distinguished Division. Wow. She has mentored several members, both locally and internationally, to aspire towards excellence in leadership. Patricia is a communication and leadership coach and a two-time self-published author. So she loves the two-time. She's gonna have to move on to three times soon. Her books, entitled Fearless, Fabulous, and Flamboyant, focuses on building the authentic leadership style. Readers learn to understand how personal values, guiding principles, and mentorship enhances their leadership qualities to accomplish their dreams and lead teams to achieve success. Her second book is Untangling That Tongue. No more fear of public speaking. Great. Like the name, it empowers readers to discover the tips, tools, and techniques required to build effective communication skills. Both books are available on Amazon Kindle. Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our speaker for tonight, two-time DTM, Patricia Mensah Lakai. Patricia, you're most welcome.
Thank you so much.
You can hear me.
I can. Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. I hope I am quite audible and visible. It is such an honor to be invited to be your second speaker when it comes to your educational session. I must acknowledge, as you said, the general in our midst, our three-time DTM. I am most honored to be here with you all tonight. Now, I don't see the chat box, but I have something that is still going to keep us all engaged. I would like to share my screen and have that be a part of our training tonight. I hope you can all see my screen.
Yes.
All
yes,
right.
we can.
Yes, we can.
But, we don't have the chat box.
That is wonderful. Now, for those of you who are probably old-time members of Kekeli, you may recall a time where the club was being birthed. And I must say that I am honored to have been part of your charter ceremony in the year 2012 or thereabout, where I jumped on the bandwagon and was part of Mr. Kofi, Moses Kofi's entourage. We had such an amazing time being hosted by the likes of our 3-time DTM listener, as well as Toastmaster Fumikesa, and all of you who I might probably have missed over the 8-year period. However, I want to let you know that I feel at home whenever I am in Kekeli, because I feel I was part of those mothers or sisters or aunties that carried that baby. It is such a delight to be here. Tonight, in the next 60 minutes or thereabout, we want to digest what the journey to DTM is all about. Before we do that, I would like to tease out a few questions from all of us. And that is basically to ask ourselves this one big question. Why did you even decide to join Toastmasters? Okay, and I am quite aware that I still don't have the chat box activated, so I might not see all of your comments in the chat box. But I prepared for that as well. And I want you to share your ideas with all of us. All right? So I'm going to pull up a questionnaire, a very short questionnaire, and then just feel free to go over into the other link. I had wished to put the link in the chat box for all of us to have a view of it, but I'm going to still open up. Are you able to see the screen?
Yeah, why did you join the Toastmasters Club?
Yes, and I am going to try and send this to Nicholas. I still don't have a chat box. Probably whilst we are engaging, I'll have the opportunity to have the chat box activated. This was supposed to be a word cloud so that as we all put down our thoughts, it will show up for all of us to have a sense of why people joined Toastmasters Club. So in the absence of the chat box, I'm going to still ask that you unmute yourself if you can, and just share 1 or 2 reasons why you joined Toastmasters with all of us. I would love to hear your reason. Please feel free, just unmute your mic and tell us 1 or 2 reasons why you joined Kekeli Toastmasters Club.
Can I give it a try?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, this is Yusuf, the president of Biwade Toastmasters Club.
Okay.
Let me share my story with you. Before joining Toastmasters, anytime I try to speak in public, I used to have stage fright.
Okay.
Like I used to be really afraid, and I was not able to put my ideas together. Like I used to really forget about ideas. Like I have like very good ideas or answers to questions, but while there are people around, I used to forget about them.
All right. So Tori
I had to talk.
Yeah, so Tori has given us at least 2 reasons why he joined. That is to overcome that fear of public speaking when he was in the company of others. Is that correct?
That's right.
All right. And so when you joined Toastmasters, how did that make you feel? And in this case, I'm talking about your first probably 3 or 4 meetings. So your first 1 to 2 months. How did you feel?
To be honest with you, it wasn't easy, especially when we had to go through table topics, because they had to pick you for questions that impromptu questions that you're not ready for. So I used to go on the back of the room and hide myself and keep praying my God that I don't get choose to answer those questions.
Oh,
So
my
those are
goodness.
my first two and 3 weeks experience from Kekeli.
Wow. And I want to assure you that you are not alone in this. I can recall days that I would go for a meeting and I was hoping that I would have somebody who was basically taller than me or who was quite huge, and they could occupy my front view so that I don't get seen by the Toastmaster of the day or by the table topics master. And can we hear from somebody else in the room why you joined Toastmasters Club? I probably will use the table topics format and probably call a few people. Estelle, Manu. I see a few familiar faces coming into the room. Estelle, can you unmute yourself and tell us why you joined Toastmasters?
Okay.
Just one reason.
Thank you, Edith and Patricia. I've joined the Toastmaster to improve my communication and my leadership skills. And what convinced me to make the step to join a club was during the presentation of the guest. When I was in the room, I had a lot of difficulty to present myself in front of people I didn't know. So after that, I realized that it was important for me to join a club and improve my communication and leadership skills. Thank you.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. And it happens to all of us at one point or the other in our journey. And especially for those of you who are in Kekeli Toastmasters Club and you are Francophones, the challenge becomes twice or thrice as much, because not only are you challenging yourself to overcome that fear of public speaking or gaining that confidence to be able to engage with people in a group, but you are also trying to do this in a language that is not maternal. So that becomes twice as challenging. Now, what excites me the most is that nobody mentioned joining Toastmasters simply because they wanted to become DTM. Am I right? Did anyone join Toastmasters? Right. Did anybody join Toastmasters because they wanted to be a distinguished Toastmaster?
No. I didn't know what a distinguished was.
Exactly. So I had the opportunity to join Toastmasters in the year 2010. And it was because at the time I was having challenges managing my team at the US Embassy. The challenges that I was facing at that time were related to being a younger person who had supervisory authority or powers over those who were, quote unquote, far older than I was. And so culturally, in the sense of adults not always excited to take instructions from younger folks, that was quite challenging for me within the workspace. So one moment I would be trying to appeal to their conscience and their emotions, and then another moment I would want to assert myself as the person that had charge and to ensure that the work gets done. So when I joined Toastmasters, I wanted to get a piece of that pie, the piece that tells me I can become a more effective leader. And I must say that the first few meetings were kind of finding a fish out of the ocean, placing it in a little jar, and sometimes you felt a bit out of place. not only were acronyms being thrown around, such as the CC, the CL, ACBs, etc., but you realize that there was so much to chew that you were probably being given more to chew on that you had bargained for. So a lot of us wanted an atmosphere perhaps where we get into the comforts of getting nurtured and groomed to overcome our fears and to improve our public speaking, but not having those other responsibilities of helping to make the agenda, showing up on time, ensuring the chairs are well arranged, etc. But what did we all discover? We discovered one critical point, that for all of us to overcome our fear, we needed to feel that fear, but to face it anyway. For all of us to overcome our fear of public speaking, the thing was we had to actually come in front of the people and do the very things that we were scared of doing. And by so doing, we built confidence. We found our voice. And before we knew it, we were being applauded and ticking certain milestones. Sooner or later, we got to discover that not only these milestones help us to hone our leadership and our communication skills, but it actually brought us into an arena where members were celebrated for having stood the test of time, for having stayed committed to their goals, for having been part of the team, being a team player, being part of those that would work behind the scenes before, during, and after each meeting. And that is how the pathways or the different paths that we had chosen for ourselves became unraveled before us. So in the past, you had people that will basically be either handed over to you or will be assigned to you so that they will guide you through this maze of Toastmasters. And at this point, I want to say thank you to all of the members as well as the mentors that held my hand through that maze called Toastmasters International. Those on whose shoulders that I stood to be able to see further. And that is how come after 8 years, I have this honor to come before all of you distinguished members of Toastmasters International to share with you how you can also understand the Distinguished Toastmasters program and begin to chart your own path. I do hope at the end of the session that you will be more enlightened, that you will be more inspired, and that you will be ready to know what next steps you can take in order to become the distinguished Toastmaster you desire to be. Now, one may be asking, what is the Distinguished Toastmasters track all about? Remember, from all that we shared as reasons for which we joined Toastmasters, at the heart of it is to build self-confidence so that we can lead a team, whether it's in our office space or within our family, in our associations, etc. We have that desire to be able to communicate a certain desired vision, a certain goal, a certain aspiration that we know we may not have the capacity to handle on our own, and that would require the efforts of many others in ensuring that that goal, that aspiration, that dream is realized. And that is where we actually get to use the benefits of Toastmasters outside of the Toastmasters community. Those of us who entered into the Toastmasters community and felt the fear, but decided meeting after meeting to do it anyway, we realized that there were times when just sighting that familiar face in the room gave you that strength and the energy to strike that eye contact. It helped you to feel more at ease, and you were able to deliver one speech after the other. These speeches and roles that we play during meetings form parts of the criteria or the requirements that one needs to fulfill what we call the educational goals. The educational goals are what will sharpen your skills, challenge you to improve, and also help an evaluator to look at areas where you need to work more on and aspects where you have gained much strength and confidence. In those areas, you can actually start mentoring others to also gain that competency and capacity. And that is why the Toastmasters community, as we know it, is a peer-to-peer enhancement community. That is how I see it. Now, after you have built self-confidence and your personal growth, you realize that there is that innate desire to want to help others who are joining and who also need some further guidance. Now, let's look at what we should prepare ourselves for if we desire to become distinguished Toastmasters. In the past, we had to fulfill what we call the communication track, as well as the leadership track. And also, by looking at how can I help other members to grow? How can I help other members to develop? Toastmasters and the brains behind it, in their innate wisdom, put in other aspects that would require you to serve as a club officer or to serve as a district officer. Whilst doing that, we had opportunities where we learned how to present, how to facilitate, how to moderate. And all of these things can be found in the Successful Club series, the Better Speaker series, as well as the Leadership Excellence series. And this is where I want to encourage us all. When it comes to the Better Speaker series, the Successful Club series, and the Leadership Excellence series, pathways did not come to replace those. And so these are aspects that we can continue incorporating into our meetings so people build the capacity and gain the confidence of doing the very things that we invite speakers to come and share with us in our club. I believe you are looking at the diagram and wondering, what is all this about? And here I want to come to the very basic level of having a new member who has joined Kekeli. So perhaps you have joined for quite some time now, and you have been able to complete what we call the legacy program or the traditional program. But you are thinking, it's pathways for me. The unfortunate news is that if you desire to continue being a Toastmaster, pathways is now the only way. But the good news is that unlike the old program, where you needed to complete 10 speeches at each period in order to be celebrated as either a competent communicator or an advanced communicator bronze or advanced communicator silver or even an advanced communicator gold, after nearly 40 speeches, in pathways, you can be celebrated even after just 4 speeches. Therefore, for those of you who have taken that bold step to break the ice in pathways and also gone ahead to deliver a speech where you receive feedback and then use that feedback to improve your second speech, you also had that chance to evaluate somebody and also come and share a presentation that you have researched in an area are familiar to you, you will be probably at level 1. And once you finish level 1, voila, you have a certificate to honor your achievement and to celebrate that milestone. You don't have to wait until 10 speeches before being recognized. And I want to find out from the room, how many of us love to be celebrated? Just give me a virtual hand up or a thumbs up, or simply say me, and I know that you love to be celebrated. Am I the only one who loves celebrations? If you are right, so I see a 3-time DTM with a thumbs up. Looking for more, all right. Okay, so I see that right now in the room, we have just about 2 people who love being celebrated. But when it comes even into our professional spaces, we all understand that people are motivated through different things. Some are motivated through rewards or reward programs. Others are motivated when they're challenged to do more. Therefore, in the Toastmasters program, there is a reward for every person. For those who love the challenge of doing more in order to feel fulfilled, there are aspects that come on as an additional. And so when you open up any of your packs, you notice that you have an elective project or you have a required project. And once you fulfill the minimum, you can actually do more. Even as Toastmasters, something beautiful has come to recognize what we do through mentoring. And so you have the opportunity to even pursue the Pathways Mentor project after you have completed your level 3. Now, the focus for tonight is to be a distinguished Toastmaster. But as I have already established, the Distinguished Toastmasters program is one that has service at the heart of it. It has the desire to improve upon yourself at the heart of it. It has that component of you being there for others at the heart of it. Therefore, all of the different things that goes into service, that goes into pursuing more developmental goals as far as your educational program is concerned, is what will land you to earn or achieve that reward. Therefore, as you can see on the chart, for you to complete that path, you have to fulfill your level 1, your level 2, right through to the final bit, which is the level 5. In each path, I was honored to have my team collaboration pin after I had successfully completed my team collaboration path. All of these rewards do not have to wait till the very end. As club members, if we want to motivate and inspire and create so much excitement in our meetings, we have the opportunity to actually get members to share what we call badges with our members. Therefore, after meetings, you have the opportunity to go into base camp and send one member who played a role a badge. That will serve as a motivator for the person to continue pursuing their Toastmasters educational program. So let's say that you have challenged yourself to complete at least 2 parts in 1 mandate, and you find yourself having earned the level 5s in these 2 parts, and you probably gave your VPE a call and said, "Hooray, I have completed my 2 parts. Please, can you submit it and let me earn my DTM recognition?" And then they come back to you and say, that wasn't all. I submitted it, but the education team came back and said, you have not fulfilled the requirements. Now, this is what we want to avoid. Aside just completing 2 parts, there are the components that relates to service. Service to your members, service to your area or division, and then service to the district. So you will find at the very top of having finished 2 parts, there is a column for club sponsor or being a speechcraft or youth leadership program coordinator. For those of you who probably are thinking, how do I become a club sponsor? Or how do I become a speechcraft coordinator or a youth leadership program coordinator? Don't think too far. Unlike a few of us who had to struggle, and I mean struggle, to be able to have that opportunity to serve as a club sponsor, now the COVID pandemic has opened the virtual Toastmasters community to us all. So you have the opportunity to connect even across your areas, your division, your district, and serve in some of these capacities so that you can be on your way to earning that distinguished Toastmaster recognition. And if you probably are one person that is interested in being a speechcraft coordinator, I have an opportunity for you. After the session, contact me and I have a slot for you to become a speechcraft coordinator. We will talk about that later. One may wonder, after I have served as a speechcraft coordinator or be a club sponsor or leading in a youth leadership program, is that all? No. Toastmasters is saying that there are so many clubs all over the district that started like Kekeli Toastmasters probably 8 years ago. However, the strength, the desire, the enthusiasm of some of the members has waned cold, and these clubs may be struggling or suffering to meet their distinguished club goals. So for those who have that desire in you, we want you to go a step further to support such clubs. When you do that, you become the assigned club coach, and all you have to do is engage with the club officers and the members. Once you engage with them, you have the opportunity to act like a doctor, because Toastmasters sees this club as an alien club or a club that is indisposed. So you have to go into the club and help them to diagnose whatever the challenge is. And as a good doctor, you can prescribe some medication, but we know that our doctors don't follow us to the house. And sometimes we have some naughty patients. The moment they start feeling better, they forget about their medication and they're thinking that they can go on strong until the body grows weak again. But what we are saying is that when you are appointed as a club coach, yours is to be like the doctor. Listen to all sides of the story. Try to get the history behind the club. Try to get where their vision lies and support them to close the gap. That way, they're able to build up the enthusiasm of members to pursue not just their individual goals, but the club's overarching goals. Once this club is able to reach the distinguished club level, you then get to be appointed as a club coach who has completed their project and awarded that certificate. Before a club will go into that ailing stage. There are those that are assigned to the club at the birthing period, and these are called new club mentors. If you have the opportunity to serve as a new club mentor, you become like the nanny or the grandma or the auntie or the mother of this new club. You stay with the members for a minimum of 6 months or 12 months, depending on the tenure of officers. Once you're in there, you help them to build that solid foundation. That foundation that will help them to understand how Toastmasters works, what is meant by the different DCP goals, what it requires of them to build their communication and leadership skills, and also to feel a part of the community in which they've been birthed into. So you nurture the club. And if you do this successfully, the club president or an officer would send that commendation to Toastmasters International, and they would recognize you as a successful club mentor. Having achieved one of those, you then come to what I will say is the mother of the mothers. You need to serve as a club officer for at least 1 year. Therefore, for clubs that have a tenure of 6 months, it means that an officer may need to serve either a continuous 6-month period so that you can end that total 1 year, or you can take a break after the first 6 months and then come in again at a later time to serve the additional 6 months. Because the 1 year service as a club officer is a requirement in pathways. If you want to get to DTM, you then have to also serve your district. District officers can be division directors, or they can be part of the district trio or the district executives. So if you are a district AM, a district PRM, a district FM, all of those components helps you to achieve this recognition. I don't know how many of you have heard about the golden opportunity. Can I see by hand those who know about the golden opportunity? You can unmute yourself and tell us, or just raise your hand and I'll give you a shout. All right. So the golden opportunity is that for those who are able to serve as a club coach in this current period before June of 2021, if you successfully serve as a club coach, you get to earn your club coach recognition, and also Toastmasters will give you additional recognition as a district officer. So that means that you skip the area director or the division director or district officer role. So if I were you, I will be seeking for a club that is struggling so I can support that club. If only you wish to become a DTM. Let's say that you have completed all of the requirements up here. But don't forget that in between the recognition lies this mini triangle. There is something called the DTM project in Basecamp. And for those who wait till the very end to discover that you need to fulfill this project within a minimum of 6 months, I want to assure you that when you complete one path in full and you begin a second path, the moment you hit the completion of level 3 in your second path, you can actually ask Toastmasters educational team to submit into your Basecamp the DTM project so that you can start working on that at the same time. Now, I'll wait for the question session to delve deeper into areas that you would love to have more insights in. Now, let's move on. This is the practical bit. Most of the time when we join Toastmasters, we have club officers in the person of either a VPE or a VPM that will discuss with us what our goals and interests are. All of the things that we shared during the why we joined our club, this information would help your club officers to help you pair up with a mentor. The mentor is then going to help you based on the knowledge and experience that they have also gained. Therefore, it is very important that you get paired with a mentor who knows the way, who is going or has gone the way, and who can show you the way. That is who John C. Maxwell calls a leader, and I love that. I want to be a leader who knows the way, who goes the way, and who shows the way. And that is why when I had the opportunity to serve as a district pathways guide, I told myself in that 1 year period, I wasn't just going to go around the minimum of 5 clubs and share the beautiful journey of pathways with them, but I needed to walk my talk. And that is why I had the opportunity to earn that second DTM. I know, like many of us, we joined Toastmasters without any knowledge of what those 3 acronyms stood for. It took me 7 years to earn my first DTM, and it took me barely a year and a half to complete my second DTM. That was because throughout the 7-year journey, I wasn't just focusing on earning a title, I was focusing on honing my skills and also imparting that same knowledge to others. Not only to others, but I determined to support clubs. And that is how come before I completed the 2 paths in pathways, I had put in my Toastmasters bank account recognitions of over 7 club officer roles. And I must tell you, I have several club officer roles that I can still apply if I want to get to our general's 3rd DTM. So that is the secret. The secret to becoming a distinguished Toastmaster is to focus on developing yourself first and then be willing to spend time to nurture that same journey in others. Not only in others, but be ready to support clubs, to support your district, and probably to go beyond, like our 3rd general wishes to do. And I hope we're all in support. You have seen for some time now these beautiful icons, and they represent the 11 paths at our disposal. In Toastmasters, there is not one particular communication or leadership style that is seen as the best because we're all different. You may have your unique style of leading or communicating. What we learn within the Toastmasters community is how we can relate within a community, how we can identify the unique skills in leading and communicating that others are bringing on board. And therefore, while somebody may wish to engage humor, another may want to learn more about innovative planning. In the same vein, you have others who want to learn about motivational strategies. And last week, I was so excited because Toastmasters International rewarded us with 1 free path. Yes, they gave every member a free pack. You don't have to pay $20 for it. So if this is the first time that you're hearing about it, please go to Basecamp, go through the selection of a pack of your choice, and you will be charged $0. Bank that before the 31st of March next year and pursue that path at your own pace. The Toastmasters journey is not a race. You must see it as a marathon for your personal development and the development of the community that you find yourself in. Therefore, we are going to take a virtual tour. Now, I am very much aware that Toastmasters International is having the Basecamp and its website updated today. But if it is not yet being updated, we're going to take a virtual tour to help you identify where you can see some of these roles. I am going to go over here and see how I am doing with time. May I have the timer? Please tell me how long I have. You can unmute yourself.
Timer.
We have 12 minutes, 12.
Wonderful. So we have 12 more minutes, and I would like us to take a virtual tour before we come into the arena of Q&A. Now, all of us joined Toastmasters, and when we joined, we found members who will sit down and look at us, smile at us, encourage us, clap for us until we achieve one milestone after another. Now, the promise of Toastmasters and the members is that we are all here for you. If only you will be here. Because most of the time, people desire to become something, but they're not present in order to have that thing nurtured and built into fruition. So I'm saying that if you desire to be a DTM, then you need to be ready to show up when you are needed. We have learned about the various milestones that can be achieved in the Toastmasters arena. Milestones, recognitions, award programs that have been laid out beautifully for all of us to benefit from. You don't need to have all of the 20 members in your club to be your mentors. You need a maximum of 2 or 3 that are willing and available to help you find your way. When you do that, you get to get the best out of their experiences. Imagine having a mentor or 2 mentors that have been in the Toastmasters community for probably 8 and 12. For being there that long, you get to have over 20 years experience pumped into you. Therefore, if you haven't spoken to your mentor in quite some time now, I do encourage you to reach out to them. In the past, we used to meet face to face, but now it is a virtual world. I am seated right here in Accra, Ghana, and having this beautiful moment to be with you in Lomé, where I was in 2012 and had that sumptuous experience. Now, before we end, I promise you a little virtual tour. This is the Toastmasters International website. If you desire to be a distinguished Toastmaster, I do encourage you to love typing in this website address. Whenever you get the opportunity to log into your Toastmasters website, an easy way for you to track your record is for you to visit your profile page. Simply look for the welcome notes and click on it. It is welcoming you by name. all you have to do is scroll down to the bottom, and it shows you a beautiful array of things that you need to do or what you have been doing. Clicking on your educational awards gives you an easy overview of all of the things you have been able to achieve so far. And it tells you the year in which you completed a certain project, or it tells you which club in which you have been achieving that recognition. All right? So this serves as a guide, because before you submit your DTM recognition, Toastmasters International will ask you for all of these dates. And this is how you can get all of this information. You can also track how well you're doing when it comes to supporting the club and other members. All you have to do is go back into your profile, find out what have you been doing so far in serving your club. As you can see, I am enrolled in 5 parts. And if you want to see the club officer's position that you have held, you can also click on that and see what you have held as officers, because you will need all of the start dates and the end dates at which you have been of service. I am currently serving my club as the VPE because I wanted to ensure that all of the new members understand clearly what is required to succeed in Pathways. All of these days are important, and so do not forget that they're right there in Basecamp. You don't always need to run after your officers to ask them these questions. You want to find out how have you been supporting clubs? Go to your club history. So if you are seeing an empty spot in your own, I do hope that this training session will challenge you to start asking, how can I support a club? You can either support as a coach or as a sponsor. And you need these requirements to become a DTM in Pathways. As you can see, I have used a couple of my sponsorship recognitions to complete the legacy program that would get you to the Advanced Communicator Gold project. However, I still have more that I can use for future DTM awards. Sometimes people are surprised. How did this person get to DTM so quickly? It is because they have banked a lot of service into their Toastmasters bank accounts. You want to understand what additional roles that you are playing in the district. I was honored to be part of the Pathways Guide and Ambassadors in the year 2018. And as you can see, this was one of the recognitions that I used to earn my Pathways DTM, because I got to convert this into a district leadership award. I hope that this training session has brought value to you, and it has enlightened you and given you more hope that one day, even though you didn't join Toastmasters to be distinguished, that desire to be excellent in all your ways will get you soon to be called a DTM. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. Excuse me. Excuse me. Thank you very much, Double DTM, Patricia Mensah Lakai, our speaker for tonight. Distinguished Toastmasters, I'm sure you'll agree with me that we have gained for free what we should be paying a lot of money for. And so to make this a very lively session and to help us clear our minds and our thoughts further, we are going to go into a question and answer session, which we have entitled Interacting with the Speaker. So if you'd like to ask a question, please show up by putting up your hand or the little blue man, you know, or just wave. I guess I can see. I have a chat box, I hope. I don't know why I can't see my chat box either. But anyway, I can see your hands if you, I hope I can see your hands if you put them up. Oh yeah. So who wants to bell the cat? We have so many people online from Gambia, from all over the world. Questions and answers session. Nobody has a question. That's weird. Aha. Good. President of BOAD Toastmasters Club, Monsieur Touré, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster EJ. And also, I want to thank the DTM Patricia for this insightful presentation about the path of being a DTM. I was wondering if you fulfill an achievement, do you have to insert it on pathway yourself, or it's up to your VPE to do it for you? I mean, I have this question for so long, but I never had like a straight answer about it. Who has to do that for you? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tari, for the question. The beautiful thing about Basecamp, the beautiful thing about Basecamp is that whenever you have a project to fulfill, you initially would go into Basecamp to research through the project requirements. As you go through, there is an option for you to test your skills before you actually deliver that project. And when you have completed the project, you then go back into Basecamp, you relaunch that project, and then you answer the questions related to the skills or the level that you feel you have attained after actually delivering the requirements of that project. When you answer all of those 5 questions, it will then congratulate you and save it automatically as a project you have completed. Now, this sends a reminder to your VPE. It tells them that you have accomplished a particular project. Before they can actually complete the full level for you to be able to view your certificate, it means that you should have completed all of the required projects and the elective projects and be able to fully exhaust that particular level. Then it goes to the VPE to now release the project completion for you. So once that is done, you can now see it in your, what we call your transcript. And it tells you which ones you have completed by giving you that ticked sign. The challenge is that sometimes when you have completed a project and the Basecamp managers have not yet approved it for you, it doesn't allow you to move on to the next. So you just need to send a little reminder to either the president, the secretary, or the VP education so that they can release that project for you. So that is how you can track your own project completion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we have someone else has a question, please? Something you'd like to clarify? It's free tonight. We might be charging you tomorrow. Opportunity, it's at your door. It's too late. When? Come on, let's seize the opportunity. Let's ask questions. Okay, let me ask a question. Maybe this will help us to ask more questions. How long do you have to have been in the club to be able to support, to qualify to support another club that's not doing well?
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Toastmasters acknowledges the fact that we all join Toastmasters with some strengths, and when you come into the club, depending on the pace at which you are able to learn, experience, and understand how the program works, I would say that any member who has been able to progress through their educational program has served a minimum of 6 months as a club officer or has been part of a committee. They would have that competency to support another club, understand what they need to do, especially when you serve in committees such as the education committee, the membership committee. This gives you an opportunity to learn so much more within that space of time. Because for you to coach a club, you need to help them understand, how do they even find more members? How do they even whip up that enthusiasm for members to find value in being members so that they renew their dues? Because remember that renewing your dues is a critical component of what sometimes can lead a very successful club in one mandate to become a club that needs a coach in another mandate. So I really do not like restricting people, but it is only fair that you gain some knowledge, some experience, and build some capacity so that you can then go in to support a club. So if you have done all of these and you can impact another club to succeed, I would say a minimum of 6 to 1 year should be enough to build that sort of competency.
Thank you very much. What you don't have, you cannot give. Build yourself to be able to build others. Any other questions, please? This is an opportunity, a golden opportunity.
I have
No
a
one
question.
else?
No, I have a question.
Okay. So
That's Ram Halal.
I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Ram Halai. Okay.
Yeah, I've got a question. I didn't know how
Thank
to
you
ask
very
it.
much, Toastmaster. You can
So Patricia, thank you very much for doing this excellent presentation workshop. I really enjoyed it. Even though you think you know everything, you clearly don't, because I learned so much in this session today. I've got a question in regards to the HPL project. So I think you must be familiar with that. Can you tell me when's the best time to start the HPL project? Now, let me make sure I get my question right. So there's level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. So the HPL project is in level 5. Do you have to do it in that order, or can you say, you know what, I've finished level 3, let me do my HPL project now? Over to you.
Thank you very much for that question. And this is one thing that a few Toastmasters are not aware of. But when you begin, I just mentioned the fact that we all join with different competencies. So perhaps you are somebody who works in a project management space and you get involved in a lot of activities or events. Toastmasters is saying that you do not necessarily have to wait to fulfill every project in a chronological order. One thing you cannot run away from is you have to break your ice. If you start 10 projects, you have 10 icebreakers, because we believe that every ice-breaking opportunity tells the members where you want them to support you to go. So you can be at level 2 or level 3 and perhaps have an opportunity to serve in your district or in your organization or in another volunteer organization in a major project. That gives you an opportunity to form a team where you are the leader of that team. It helps you to build that guidance committee who would help you be able to achieve that vision to an appreciable level. So you can actually begin your HPL without necessarily waiting till you were done with level 3, level 4, etc. What Toastmasters is saying is that though you can, as it were, pick certain projects ahead of the game, you will not be able to submit any level completion if you have not finished the previous level in full. So this is what it means. Right now, I have moderated a panel discussion for International Youth Day. I made sure that it was a project requirement in level 5 fulfilled. And so I informed my VPE ahead of the event, made them aware it was going to be outside of a Toastmasters community, and I made sure I killed 2 birds with 1 stone. So by holding my event and being the moderator, I also used it to service that project requirement. However, until I complete all the current projects in level 3 and level 4, I cannot submit my level 5 projects in full. So all the submissions of the final levels must be done chronologically, but the projects you can always discuss with your VPE ahead of time so that they are in the picture. No surprises here. And that is why we want to acknowledge those who are able to visit other clubs to work on their projects. Before you do that, simply send an external additional request so that your VPE is aware that you are going to fulfill a role in a different club or outside the Toastmasters community. That way, if you tell TI that your club meets on the 2nd and 4th Saturdays, TI wants to understand why you completed a project on a Friday. It helps us all honor our value of integrity, and it helps everybody else in the club appreciate the journey of going beyond the club. Thank you.
Can I come in, Patricia?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
I wanted to share. I wanted to share the work of doing your HPL. You see, as I am, I have 3 HPLs in waiting, because you don't have to do it just to become a DTM. You do your HPL projects, as Patricia has said, and you save them. For instance, I organized the visit of 3 international presidents. I had a team, we worked on it, we prepared his reservation, his hotel, his visit. We did a complete project. And I had the members of my team sign on the project, and I kept them. And then when you want to have your DTM, you send them to TI, and you have credit for it. And also, by doing the HPL, you have this credit for your club also. Your club will get a credit for your HPL project. Working in the district, you see, I have not worked in a district team for the past 4 years, but I had a lot of credit because I was in territorial council as the 3rd member. I was what we call PQD now. I was governor, so all that was being kept. So every time I want to have a DTM, I use one of them. So you just keep working and keeping those credits. You work as area director, you work as club officer. Right now, I'm a club officer, I'm a secretary for a club. Last year, I was also in another role, and you keep them because you will need them later. In fact, that brings me to talk with Sister Talks, our Toastmaster of the day. I was just thinking while you were talking, there are certain things she has done with teamwork, which I have seen online, where she could have her HPL, but I'm sure she has not applied for it or she has not thought about it. Once you've worked on a project with a team, that's a high performance leadership project. And you'll get your team to sign on your forms and you will have credit for it. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, and thank you, Madam Presenter.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I definitely listening to triple DTM and double DTM. I realized that I guess I'm a snail on this journey, because even yesterday I was moderating a high level thing somewhere, but I never link all of those things to Toastmasters. So that's a lesson for all of us. our Toastmaster life is not just limited to Toastmasters, it can also be in other things that we do. And I just can't even tell you, in the last 1 month, I think I could have had 3 HPLs and all sorts of roller coaster stuff. But anyway, it's been a great, great evening. And we are going to the next agenda item, which is actually the, what is it now? It's the discussion, it's the practical experience that we're gonna have with Patricia. Yes, so I'm gonna turn it over back to Patricia to take us through this practical exercise.
All right. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Now, I want to find out who in the room would like to share their screen with us. You are going to log onto Toastmasters website, and then, as I showed you earlier, you will put in your user ID and your password, and then I will guide you through what you have achieved so far and help you shorten your learning curve and see what opportunities you can take advantage of. Whilst we get someone to either raise their hand up or to start going into the other tab to log into Toastmasters so they can share their screen, let me tell you the story. We sometimes end up wasting so much time, either because we have a certain mindset when it comes to the Toastmasters journey, or we have some members that may not be as supportive as we hoped they would be. So I'm putting these two in a sort of left, or to your left and then my right, and I want to talk about both experiences. Why did it take me 7 years to earn my first Distinguished Toastmaster? Probably like it happened to our Toastmaster of the day. I was overzealous. I was so eager. I was always up and about, supporting teams, helping communities, volunteer organizations. And in the same vein, I brought that into the Toastmasters community. I served as a club officer several occasions back to back. I did so many things unknowingly that could have easily earned me the credit of a DTM. But because at that time, I hadn't learned enough of what it takes to be a dynamic leader, and also I hadn't learned enough about emotional intelligence, I took on a posture that got me in a web of antagonism, okay? Because I realized on hindsight that I was so close to becoming a club sponsor, but then a few people had simply pulled the curtain over my eyes. I felt hurt, I felt cheated, and I felt I had worked in vain. I questioned these issues in a way that didn't result in having the affinity of another group. Now, this happens to a lot of Toastmasters. During this pandemic, I took the intentional step to simply network across the continent in Toastmasters communities. And one thing that I got to realize is that the things that we experience within our clubs are similar across the continent. So in the proverb, we say, for lack of knowledge, my people perish. Biblical as it is, but I found out that if I spent just 1 hour every week looking through the Toastmasters website, the different tabs, reading on all of the things that are in there, I can actually equip myself with knowledge that others may be unwilling to share. When I discovered that secret, my goodness, I will launch onto the site. I will read almost everything and anything. That is when I discovered one article about a Toastmaster who was a diplomat. Oh my goodness. Seeing Sister Danstonet in the Toastmasters Magazine quickly got me asking the question, how do I get into a Toastmasters Magazine? I did not stop there. I gradually read through and realized that the email to submit our articles is there for everyone. All I had to do was submit. And oh yes, I did. I submitted photos after photos, articles, etc. And voila, in the year 2018, November to be precise, I had the opportunity to share some photos about the club that I had helped to sponsor, that is Perissos Horizon Toastmasters Club. In February of 2018, we came into the magazine while celebrating Breast Cancer Month and a birthday celebration. I also had the opportunity to get interviewed in a member moment, and it came as a Christmas surprise in the December article. Now, all I'm trying to say is that sometimes we miss out on vital information that is actually on the website for all of us. And what we have to then decide is to continue visiting the website, getting some of these information for ourselves, and running like a runner who has got the baton and doesn't want to let go. Aside all of that, I don't want you to make some of the mistakes that I made early on in my Toastmasters journey. Sometimes it is not intentional that some members may not pass information to you. Let us watch how we ask the question, because it has taken a lot of toil, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of things that have been put at the back burner when it comes to their own relationships with their family and their friends, just so they could spend more time in the Toastmasters world and be able to bring to your table the easiest possible way, not to just earn an award, but to cut your learning curve and enable you to earn more when it comes to competencies. So all we have to do is to show appreciation profusely to all of those who help to mentor us and to guide us. And if you don't have the time at all, once in a while, just drop in a good morning. How are you doing, my mentor? And that would also create that atmosphere where they would always be willing to share more knowledge and information with you. I will plead with our long-standing members. Sometimes the journey gets really tough. Sometimes we do not get appreciated enough. But all we have to stay focused on is that final thing I want to share with you on my slide. And I hope you will come along with me. And this is where I take you on that presentation. A lot of us see the Distinguished Toastmasters recognition as the icing on the cake, what we have all been waiting for. But now I want to ask you that question. After you have become a DTM, after you have those 3 initials after your name, what next? Let us look at what our past international district director said. And I will read this to you. Becoming a distinguished Toastmaster should actually begin when you receive that award, not end with it. Why earn the award and just hang it on your wall? You have now learned skills that may have once seemed impossible. Now is the time to put those skills to good use. Use your newly earned leadership and communication skills to make a difference in another person's life, in your community, at your school, or place of worship or at work. These skills were difficult to achieve. Don't let them go unused. So if you want to become a distinguished Toastmaster, I want you to have this picture at the back of your mind. So when you see the likes of DTM, triple DTM, Dastanet Macaulay, or 8-time DTM, Subi Mata, you will not wonder, why are they amassing all of those accolades? Because believe you me, if you really understood the journey, you would realize that the recognition is not for you to keep. It is a gift to be shared. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, double DTM special guest speaker for tonight. It has been such a, I don't even know how to express it. I'm still looking for the right word. It's been such an interesting, such a helpful, beautiful session. And I will not be the one to make the long speech, but I will still say thank you to you for being with us and for helping us through. I will now pass the microphone, the lectern, to our president, who will on our behalf say all the right things. President Nicholas, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Thank you, thanks to our speaker for this wonderful session. It was very amazing. I learned a lot, and I hope so to all the attendees of to this session. And I do really appreciate the way it went smoothly and the passion with you used to speak about Toastmaster. And this is very important for us new members of Toastmasters, I can say, at the beginning of our journey to go further in our education path, especially using the Pathways program. So it is very important for me to say this because we really want this educational session to go further, okay, very far, and inviting much more experienced speakers to come and give us such training sessions and help our close members to go further and learn more and become better and good Toastmasters within our division and all around the world, as we already have a trip DTM in our club. So thank you very much, DTM Patricia, for your availability and giving us such a very important and interesting session. Now, I want to give the floor.
A round of applause.
And sorry for the chat box. Sorry for the chat box. We are trying to we try to fix it, but it was impossible, because if you want to fix it, we should have stopped the training session and come again, and this would not be very interesting. So the next time we will correct it, and sorry for this inconvenience. I want to hear from those who join us all around the world. I want to hear from the club members of Togo. Those who don't want to speak, I can understand, but those who are online, please, if you want to say something, it's the time. How did you see this session? I can see online our Toastmaster Jean-Jacques Anthony. Jean-Jacques Anthony, are you online? If you you are here with us. I want to hear from you. Do you have anything to say, please?
Good evening, President Nicolas. I'm very sorry. I'm on drive actually, so I can't say more. Excuse me for my English. Huh? My English is not very friendly, but I'm trying to speak some words anyway. So
okay. Okay, thank you, dear Toastmaster. Safe drive. I want to hear from our Toastmaster, Anna Morales. I don't know if the pronunciation is correct.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm not a toaster yet. I was interested in and I talked to someone and she suggested that I participate to see how it goes. So it's very interesting.
We can hear you.
And probably joining soon. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay. Anna, if you remove your earphones, maybe you can speak.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm from Lomé. I'm not a Toastmaster yet. I just participated the very first time.
Anna, turn off your video. Anna, turn off your video. We can't hear you properly.
Yeah, turn off the video and speak.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm joining from Lomé.
Oh.
I'm not a Toastmaster yet. This is my first time ever participating. So it seems very interesting. And I'll probably join Toastmasters soon.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay. Good. You are welcome. Unfortunately, we don't have a chat box, but we'll try to get in touch with you and give you more details about Toastmaster and invite you to join the Toastmasters Club. Thank you. So,
thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Ram Halal.
Yes, can we hear from Ram? Ram, it is the second time you are joining us. I think you joined our regular meeting.
Yes. This is the second time I've come to visit.
Yes,
second time I've come to visit the club. Yeah. So I think today's workshop was really good. So thank you, Patricia, for giving us an insight into the DTM. There are subtle lessons in there, and I think, you know what, there's plenty of things we could learn from her double experience. What else do you want to know, Nicholas?
Where are you from, Ram?
So I'm from the UK. The time now is 8:30. I think it's the same time over there, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm a VPE of a club here in the UK. It's a corporate club for a fashion retailer. I've been a member for 5.5 years. I've done president role, VPE role many times, VP membership many times. Done the area director role as well. So I think, you know, to Patricia's point here is the more you put your hand up, the more you will gain personally, because people join for different reasons. You, for example, join initially to say, I want to be more confident, but then you do that and then you say, okay, what's the next challenge? But trust me, I think I follow Patricia's advice, which is always put your hand up, just say yes to everything when asked to do so, and then you can't go too far wrong. So that's just my opinion. I think you'll all agree with me with that as well.
Thanks, Joram. I hope you will join us more. You will join our sessions online. Okay, so we're still doing sessions online. So we are going to share with you the links of our meetings, and we'll be very happy to have you with us. Before giving the floor to hear from our trip DTM, I want to hear from one of our new members. Okay, I see online Dio. I can see online Ambrose, Venunia Azasu. I don't know who want to say something. Ambrose?
Hello.
Yes, Ambrose, yeah.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. First of all, I have to thank our speaker, Patricia. This one is a nice session. It gives us as new members motivation to work hard with our club, to take contents on the website of Toastmaster in order to perform our leadership and our good communication, our communication. So that's what I have to say. Thank you for this opportunity for learning. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, dear Ambrose, for this wonderful intervention. Mr. Dio, yeah.
Yes, President.
Our champion.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
I can't see your face.
It's okay. Take one thing at a time.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Guest Toastmaster of the day, the presenter, and for the very insightful presentation, and all the participants to this meeting. It was really insightful and helpful for a new member as me, for instance. I'm sorry for not being able to follow the whole session because since the very beginning, I was struggling a lot with technology. But from the very little I was able to follow by the end of the session, I think it was really insightful and helpful for me. It added a lot more value and motivated me to get involved in this journey toward the becoming a DTM in the Toastmasters. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, dear Toastmaster Dio. Okay, yeah. So our triple DTM, this is the time to hear from you before putting an end to this session.
Mr. President, I would like to congratulate the Kekeli board for putting on this beautiful session, which I'm quite sure will help members. And I want to particularly thank Patricia because I know how busy she is, and she accepted to spend 1.5 hours with the team and with Toastmasters from all over the world to share her knowledge in moving on to the DTM path. I want to share with you a joke. We always have light moments. When we started Toastmasters in Lomé, we were the first to start. And I was the first to get my CC. So everybody was saying, oh, it's so wonderful. You know, your CC. Oh, congratulations. Wow. You have a lot, your CC. That's competent communicator. And I was really proud. I bought my CC pin. And then I went to the Toastmasters convention in Las Vegas, not in Nevada. And everyone I met, I was introducing myself as being CC because I thought it was something great. And the first person said, I'm DTM. I said, oh, really? Well, I'm CC because I thought CC was more than DTM. After someone called me, it was John Lau who called me and said, don't Sinead, Sissy is just the beginning of your journey. You have a long way to go. And so you see, when we start, we really think it's so wonderful when we achieve a competent communicator, because the word itself, competent communicator, you think you're so fast, you're an expert. But when you become a DTM, you've seen it all. And I want to encourage all of you. It's really easier, as Patricia said, and quicker to be a DTM on pathways than in the traditional path. There you had to do 40 speeches. Here you do less, and it's more relaxed. You're online, you work at your own pace, and I'm telling you, it's a wonderful path. I have already done my DTM on pathways, and I've started another journey on pathways. I just can't stop because it's so inspiring. It's so motivating. So I want to encourage all of you to continue working on pathways. You will see, you will reap the benefits. So congratulations once more, and congratulations to our Toastmaster of the day. What Patricia doesn't know is that Sister Talks, as we call her, it's because of her that they call me Sister Dawn. Sister Talks, who is our Toastmaster of the day, is a John Maxwell Fellow. Because you mentioned John Maxwell, yes, so she's one of John Maxwell. I don't know whether it's fellow or whatever she is, but one of the top heads of John Maxwell. Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie Dawn. I want to say thanks to our aunties, Auntie Dawn, Auntie Ige, Auntie Fumike. I saw Auntie Fumike online.
Okay, it's there, yeah. She didn't show us her face. Fumike.
Auntie Fumike, hi.
From the Gambia.
Yeah. I think she's not connected. Okay.
Connected, but not the picture.
Oh, okay.
Probably is. But
I'm connected, but you can't see my face.
Why can't we see your face?
We want to see your face.
Put it this way.
Put it this way. She's not dressed for the occasion.
Good to hear your voice, Sister Philip.
Let's just see your head. This is what Zoom does. You just dress anyhow.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, President.
Okay, thank you for your support, and we do appreciate the way you are supporting us and giving us advice. Before putting an end to this session, I want to say a huge thanks to my fellow presidents of clubs. I want to say thanks to the president of BOAD Toastmasters Club, President Yusuf Touré. I want to say thanks to the president of Golden Toastmasters Club, Estelle Manu. I want to say also thanks to the VPE of Noblesse Toastmasters Club, the Toastmaster Suffisant Togo. Thank you for supporting Kekeli in this journey with our educational, I can say, tool to help our members to sharpen their skills, and other members of Toastmasters in Togo and all around the world. So thank you, Patricia, for being with us, and thanks for your availability. And we hope that we can invite you again to another Kekeli Toastmasters Club. And I want to say that this year, our club, the next year, specifically within the month of June, the club will celebrate its 10th anniversary. And maybe we can organize something very interesting, okay, and invite you to give us more tips and help other members to nurture themselves and grow up, okay, in this journey with Toastmaster. Thank you all, and I think I said everything, and we are inviting you officially to our next Kekeli Toastmasters class, November 27th. at the same time with another speaker and a new topic. Bye-bye. But we can.
Thank you all for having me.
That was a great
Thank you for coming.
We can turn on the cameras and take a photo.
Yes.
If possible.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's
turn on your cameras
on.
Yeah.
Deo.
Nina Kanziza.
Nina doesn't like to see you to see her. Oh, Mr. Kwebi, I like your hat.
Nadine. I'm Mr. Koku Dometo. Who is Justin Bekunin? Is he from Togo? Justin Bekunin.
Okay.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Mr. Ram.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, pourquoi que je vais acheter quelque chose comme ça?
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Nicholas, did you want to speak?
Yes, it's very amazing. I think it was amazing. I really appreciate, and I don't know, maybe the next time we can, I don't know, we can suggest a theme, okay, or a topic, and we will schedule it.
You mean for this workshop? Do you mean, or for your meeting?
Yes, for this workshop, you can give us a workshop, okay, on a specific topic you really want to share with us.
Okay.
Maybe in 1 month or 2 months, it depends on you.
Yeah, so I'll try and connect with you at your next meeting.
Okay.
And then maybe we can discuss what your members want rather than what I want. I'm happy to work with you to deliver something that's of value to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're
And
welcome.
if you are doing your meetings online, you can share the link with us as well, and we can try to join.
Definitely.
Okay.
So, Nicholas, I think you have my email address, right?
No, please give it. You can spell it. I will.
Yeah. So, toastmasterram@gmail.com.
toastmasterram@gmail.com.
Gmail.com.
Okay.
Yes, there's no space between Toastmaster and Ram. It's just one long word. TOASTMASTERRAM.
Okay, great. Okay, great.
So yeah, happy to reach out to me and then we'll connect.
Are you on Twitter?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good.
So are you on Twitter as well?
Yes.
The
Yes.
club?
Yes.
The club.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so
the club on Twitter.
let me find you. I'll find you on Twitter. You can connect that way.
Great. 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 I will send you the email, an email with the document talking about the Kekeli Toastmasters class, and you can go through the documentation and see how it goes and which part of what we are doing will be very interesting in terms of sharing experiences and help us to build the skills of our members.
Yeah, I think we're both saying the same thing. I'm happy to help. Just let me know what you want me to do, and then I'll see if I have the skills to do that. If not, between the two of us, we can then arrange for somebody else to come in. Yeah, so
thanks.
So, yeah, let's connect and let's see how far we can take it.
Okay. Okay. Great. Great.
You have a good evening, young man.
Okay. Bye bye. Have a nice weekend.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Yeah. Dio.
Président Nicolas, je vous avais lâché un moment. I'm back.
Ok, merci beaucoup, hein, merci beaucoup.
Non, félicitations à vous. J'ai suivi à moitié parce qu'en temps j'étais au bureau, j'ai pris le chemin pour la maison, j'avais des courses à faire. Donc j'étais mais je ne pouvais pas réagir quoi. En tout cas, congratulations. You are doing great.
Thank you very much. We are trying to keep it up.
And sorry for the chat. Next time I will correct it. I think I corrected, but because of I set the meeting before correcting it, ça n'a pas marché chez vous, quoi. Ça a marché, peut-être comme je suis l'administrateur, ça a marché chez moi simplement.
Oui, effectivement.
Vraiment désolé. Désolé.
C'est pas grave. J'ai présenté des excuses à la speaker. Je lui ai dit ce qui s'est passé. Elle a compris. Donc, elle a trouvé le moyen. Comme elle est tellement expérimentée, elle a trouvé le moyen de parler à ce petit...
À cela.
Oui.
D'accord. OK. Bah, bonne soirée. Quand vous allez finir la réunion, je vais la fermer.
D'accord.
Et je pourrai vous envoyer les enregistrements si vous le souhaitez.
Oui, on le souhaite. Ça serait bien si on pouvait l'avoir. On va pouvoir le mettre aussi sur notre page de YouTube, Histoire d'alimenter.
OK, great. Il n'y a pas de souci. En général, quand la réunion finit, ça prend quelques minutes avant de m'envoyer l'enregistrement. Dès que je le reçois, je te l'envoie.
D'accord. Merci beaucoup. Bye bye.
Merci. Bye bye, Président.